This is Carl Eller, and you're watching the One Bar and Lepagas show.
All right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lepagas show. I'm One Bar with Lepagas, and now that Mike Zimmer is gonzo, our GM is gonzo, it is time to dive buttocks is deep in some coaching options, and we're splitting this up into two. This one, top 5 veteran coaching options, players or coaches that have been through the ringer, have done it before.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's thinking the Vikings would go with the sexy young option, but there's some old crusty guys around who may be just as appealing, and they're not really all that crusty either. So be interesting to see where the new GM goes with his coaching hire. But there's some pretty good options here who do have some coaching experience.
Yeah, and we realize there's more options out there. These are kind of the top 5. I mean, and these are the guys that are the hot and heavy names, players or coaches we'd love to see come to the Vikings. Well, maybe we'd love. We'll talk about that. Also, before we get to that, remember, subscribe. Like the video, here every damn day talking Vikings. Also, a Patreon link down in the description if you want to join that. But let's do this. Before we get into the 5, there's I also want to mention Todd Bowles and Raheem Morris. They didn't make this list, but they will be hot names as well.
They will be. There's a lot of them. So let's start. Let's start with a big popular name. I think one that neither one of us are super on par with, but you gotta throw him in the ringer. It's Jim Harbaugh. It came out a couple weeks ago. Jim Harbaugh wants to get back in the NFL. He did take the 49ers to a Super Bowl, lost to his brother. I kind of think he might be more linked to the Chicago job, but Jim Harbaugh, what'd you think if he was in purple?
Well, Jim Harbaugh, he had a very quick stint in the NFL, but it was very successful as well. He was there for 4 years, made the playoffs 3 times, 44-19. You cannot deny that the guy can't coach. He's done very well everywhere he's gone. It's my issue with Jim Harbaugh is doesn't seem very likable. You want a coach that players are going to want to come play for, free agents, but also I think Jim Harbaugh is full of shit. I think he wants just more money from Michigan.
Yeah, a couple of things. He to me, he seems like one of those guys who isn't very likable, especially if you're not, if he's not coaching your team. They always show him on the sidelines. He's always got that grumpy ass look on his face, or like he's pinching and holding in a poop or something. But
down like this.
Yeah, but I feel like if he was on your side, maybe you'd like him a little bit more. You can't deny he's a good coach. He's got, him and his brother have had success in the NFL, and that's something to definitely say there. But not my top option, but I think one I could definitely live with over time.
Oh, I would be fine with it. It'd just be, let's see. I think if he's actually wants to come to the NFL, the Bears will give him whatever they want to get him. So I'm not even really considering as much of a realistic option.
Yeah, I don't think it's realistic either, but got to think about it.
We do. A realistic option. I apologize. I keep getting bad time of the day.
You're gonna be sunburned before this is over.
I will be sunburned. A coach that was just let go this morning, which is surprising quite a few people. Brian Flores.
I would be calling him right now from the Vikings. Yes, I know he's not an offensive-minded coach, but this is a damn good coach. A guy who, why did they fire him? I mean, this team started off, 0-6? They won 8 in a row. He's got him back into contention. I think he's a guy players respect. Players play hard for. I think the Dolphins played hard every single game. Yes, he's not the offensive mind a lot of people want to see here, but he's a damn good coach. He's proved it. I would be all over this guy from the Vikings.
Yeah, and I was actually looking, like, why the hell would this guy get fired? I was reading a lot of the Dolphins blogs, and it sounds like him and the GM didn't really see eye to eye, which always gets a little bit sticky. But dude, I mean, the guy was 24-25 with the Dolphins. That's like
the Dolphins.
That's insane when you're dealing with the Dolphins. And when he took them over, they were dog shit. The weird thing is the whole quarterback thing. But he's a defensive guy. So I think Flores would be good. Maybe going to a defense coordinator for a year. So yes, he can come be the Vikings defense coordinator.
No, I like him as a head coach, but you'd have to hire a very strong-minded, a strong offensive coordinator, a guy who could really run that offense. But I like what Flores has done with the Dolphins. Not a super talented roster, getting him where he did. I think did he never lose to Bill Belichick? I thought he had a really good record against Belichick.
I don't know.
That says a lot to me, and I was very shocked to see that he was released. But I was also wondering if there was something behind the scenes that was going on that led to that. So that little nugget that you dug and found is probably the reason why.
We shall see, but I think everybody would love him. I was just getting greedy with the defensive coordinator comment. He's going to get a job.
Selfish.
Be very surprised if he wasn't. Let's talk about another one that seems to be hot and heavy every year, and that is Josh McDaniels, the Patriots offensive coordinator.
Yeah, and McDaniels, he did have a shot with Denver. Was it what he lasted there 2 years? It
2
wasn't very
years.
long. But also his mentor, Belichick, went to the Browns, didn't have success. So I'm kind of thinking his second stint will go better. I love that he's from that tree, even though that tree hasn't produced really great coaches in the NFL. I mean, they've had some guys who've had some success in stretches, but not like the Andy Reid coaching tree. Belichick's seedlings are a little infertile.
Infertile, and it's been 10 years since McDaniel was there. I think it's been like 10 years. And while his stint wasn't great, whenever he finally takes a job or gets a job, I think he's gonna be damn good. The thing that scares me with this is he's probably already being told he's gonna get Belichick's job when it's over. He already shumped out on the Colts a couple of years ago where he took the job, then backed out. If the Vikings were to hire him, I'd be scared once Belichick retired that he would just say, bye, thanks for the stay.
Well, unless he's got his product established here, he's got a lot of weapons and offense to work with. The Vikings are going to be in a retooling phase, but offensively, they're much better off than they are on the defensive side of the ball. Delvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, you got your left tackle, your right tackle. I mean, Kirk Cousins, at least for a year. I mean, there's options here to work with. And if I'm McDaniels, this is a very attractive offense to come and work with.
Oh, this is going to be an attractive team for anybody. That's what I'm very excited about. I think the Vikings are going to get a hell of a coach. Let's stay on the offensive side of the ball. A guy that you're not overly high on. Doug Peterson had this year off after getting booted from the Philadelphia Eagles. Peterson, I mean, he's a quarterback whisperer. He has done very well with quarterbacks, which is a big reason why I love him. Obviously, the big part is what went wrong in Philly. Got all gross there, but he got in trouble for he benched Hurts, right, and played. I can't remember the quarterback. Sudfeld.
Oh,
Sudfeld to get a better draft pick, and he got killed for it.
It worked. They got what, two this year. I think they paid like 15, 16 or something. It's right back to back, but. Couple things about Peterson. At least if he came in here, what your offense is going to be. It's going to be RPO. He's going to have his system in place. You're going to have an identity on offense. So that I like, just knowing what you're going to get offensively week in, week out. What I don't like is how fast that thing fell apart. You go from a Super Bowl year to just a couple years later, it's a whole new regime. That worries me. I don't like that crumbling, and I feel like that reflects on him. So that's my biggest concern with him, is how quickly that thing fell apart.
Well, a big thing with Peterson that I was reading on is he's been around for so long. He's adapted regardless of the year. So he changes with the NFL. So when I saw that, as far as when he's quarterback coach with the Packers, wherever, he adapts. And for being 50, I don't know how old he is, 50 something, that's a big thing. I mean, as long as he's changing, we've seen in the past where we've had coaches that just refuse to change.
Yeah, I mean, that's another attractive thing. But again, I just, I worry about his leadership. That thing fell apart so quickly after the Super Bowl, that is concerning.
All right, final, last guy on our list. And remember, in the comments, let us know who you want, and he might not even be on this list. And also, we're going to be doing a top 5 newbies head coaches. That's why we're not talking about any of these young up-and-comer, young whippersnappers.
Whippersnappers, as they say. Who's the last one? I forgot. Dan
Quinn, 51 years old, has turned that Cowboys defense into one hell of a squad, which is asking a lot.
Yeah, I know he had success when he was the Falcons head coach, got him to the Super Bowl, the epic choke job, which means he'll probably fit in perfectly in Minnesota, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, that fits in well with Atlanta. He was 44-42, like you said. He got him in the Super Bowl. But something with Dan Quinn, I mean, he's having such a good year. Back in the days when he was with Seattle, fantastic. I think he's just meant to be a defensive coordinator.
I was just going to say the same thing. I feel like he's where he needs to be right now as a defense coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, especially if Kellen Moore goes on and becomes a head coach. They want someone established there, keep someone in-house. So I think Dan Quinn would probably stick around in Dallas, but we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
He's earned the job taking that Dallas defense and making it what they are. So Dan Quinn, those are our 5 guys. Let us know in the comments below. Remember, subscribe, like the video. We're going to be hot and heavy over the next couple of days.
Yeah, and while you're watching these videos, remember this. Astronauts say that outer space smells like gunpowder.